This is Linda Burton.
And this is Joseph Burton with Fighting to Stay Married.
Today I want to talk about a book I wrote. It's called Dancing in Harmony. And this is not a book about dancing. I use the metaphor of dancing to explain about a relationship, how to build a stronger, healthier relationship. I use the experience of our life, that things we've been through and things that we have learned through the past to make this book. I really feel like we need to slow down and look at our life a little more, our relationship a little more. We're so quick to jump out of it or to move or to change, and just slow down and work on our relationships. I really do feel like we can solve the majority of the problems in our relationship if we take the time to evaluate ourselves as well as the relationship itself and talk and work things through with each other.
And know what you want, know what you want in a relationship.
Yes.
That'll be a big step too, to actually plan some things out. And it's kind of hard to do because we just go on our natural instincts, and we're so wrapped up in our feelings and our emotions. He likes me, she likes me, and that's all you can think about. But to try to take a step back and to really look at what you want.
Right. So if you think your relationship is important, or if you feel like your relationship is important and you want to make a change or even make it better, I think this book is for you.
All right, let's get into it then. So today we're going to start talking a little bit about the book. We're going to go through some points in the introduction that I found very enlightening and really like it. So let's start with the introduction.
Okay. We are not going to read the book. We still want you to read it and just go and through it and take your time to see what it means to you. But we're going to share our thoughts and our feelings about the book.
Yeah, because I know when I was reading the introduction, I went and started thinking about my past and stuff, and the way I was thinking and the way I was feeling. So it was pretty good. It was pretty neat actually to have that come up as you read. So that's what the book would do.
So one of the main things I talk about in the introductions was how we are naturally attracted or look for relationships. It's a natural thing. We need relationships. We need to be with each other. We need that to interaction. And in there we talk about positive. What was that one thing we learned a long time ago? When it's positive, we draw near. When it's negative,
we pull back.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I really got inspired from when I kind of talked about this, that we automatically draw near about it. I don't talk about that part in the book, but it was in my mind and in my heart when I wrote that we draw near to those things. It's important to us that we draw near and we can talk, and we want a better relationship with somebody that is safe, when we feel close with that person, when they have a positive attitude with us as well as our relationship, when they look at things in a positive way.
Well, if you think about when you first notice someone, whether the opposite sex, you first notice that person, it's always a positive experience. Because when you I'll just take it from a guy's point of view. When you see this girl and you want to talk to her, you're smiling, you're happy. There's no sadness, there's no negativity. You're excited, and you're like, oh man. You think she's going to want to talk to me? Oh, man. And so any negativity you have, you might slightly bring it on yourself, but you still are excited about about that relationship, about the possibility. And it's all smiles.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Especially if the person reciprocates. If the person doesn't like you.
If it's a positive attitude.
Then she's not smiling. But if normally when you meet for the first time, I'm talking about when you actually meet someone and you end up hooking up together. It's all positive experiences. You're not wondering if you don't have the negative mindset, like, oh man, I wonder if she's this. Oh, she probably doesn't cook. She probably hates this, and she probably smells. You don't be thinking any of that.
You're like walking on clouds.
You're not thinking of any of that. You're all positive about everything. So so it's like a little bit of the book says, for the most part, or for most people, the desire for relationships with others is natural, like you said.
Yes.
to differing degrees, whether intentionally or not, we seem to always be on the lookout for potentially positive experience in interactions with other people. That's naturally happens.
And
I
that's
think.
how you feel about it?
So yeah, I think we're, we look. I mean, we look for people. We look to want to be with people. I mean, sometimes you might have your loners and stuff, but after a while, because I don't think we were built to be alone.
I agree with
I mean,
you.
I don't think we built to be alone. I think we built to be in relationships.
But it's so funny because sometimes we get so frustrated with people and we want to be alone, or we think we want to be alone. And I think sometimes we do need that for a while to get our thoughts back together,
That's
to get
because,
our mindset back.
Yeah, that's because there's plenty of people around. That's why.
Too many people.
Yeah, there's plenty of people. That's why, you want to get away a little bit. But
Just to hear your voice sometimes, your own thoughts, put them back in order. Like I said, everything that we talk about is not in the book, and some things that we are talking about, we are purposely skipping so you can have a real experience reading the book. What did you think about the questions? I talk about, before you get into relationships, questions you should ask.
oh, why do you want to be in a committed relationship? I don't know if a lot of people know how to even answer that.
Nobody, it's just to the point of taking the time to think.
To spend some time thinking about it. But I think the vast majority of people really don't think about it, because we think about, we might think about college. We may think about what we're going to do when we get this age. We may, write down goals. But it seems like people miss the point of actually thinking about, spending their time or putting the effort into somebody, right? Or want that back. So,
You don't go that far out of why. Why do I want to be in a relationship? Am I lonely? Am I doing it for the right reason?
Because maybe you don't even need to be in a relationship.
Yeah, there's a season that I know when we had our kids, we really truly didn't want our kids to date in school while they're in school. Realistically, that's hard, but I didn't want the boys to date while they were in high school. I wanted them to focus on their education and different things like that. Or even in college, it's putting your energy somewhere that can take you somewhere else. I wanted to focus on education at that time. But realistically, it's
hard.
The first paragraph. It's a natural thing. You're going to be attractive. You're going to do that. You just need to know, why are you, and is it the right time, and are you ready, and just what else is coming from that.
I think too, what maybe older people, maybe parents need to do is actually, and some parents may do this, but actually spend more time with talking to your young kids especially when they're teenagers, right? About these relationships, because we talk to them about college. They can be in the 9th grade, and you already got their mind on college and all those kind of things. Now, I know there's thresholds and whatnot, and what to bring up and what not to bring up, and not to focus on it too much, but your children are relational beings.
Yeah.
So if you don't start talking to them about something, they're gonna find it out, another way.
Right.
And in that other way that they may find it out, you may not disagree with it. I mean, you may not agree with it.
Or the person that is giving them the attention they need might not be a healthy person for them.
Might not have their best interests at heart. They just want something from them. Yeah. So yeah, talking. I think talking is really good, and I think the book it's a lot of meat to this book. It's no fluff. It really makes. I'm a slow reader anyway, so I have to ingest things. But when I did that, I was like, wow. I was really impressed so far by the introduction.
Yeah. So the first part of it is it asks a lot of questions, and I purposely do that to make you think. So the other ones is basically what is your value? What are you bringing? What do you have to offer to the relationship? And I don't think we think of that.
We don't think of that, what we have to bring. It's all about, we're being selfish. Like, what are you going to do for me?
Yeah. What are you going to give me? Do you have a job? Do you have a car? Do you have
wait a minute.
Do you have your own place? What are you giving me? But we also need to think, what do we have to give? Because at the same time, if I want somebody to have those things, to get that person, what are they looking for?
Yeah.
You know, we don't think that way. You know, it's like, well, if the person already have a job and a car and that stuff, well, what do you think they want their person to be, and are you that person for them?
Right.
And we don't think that way.
So that's why it takes time. You know, you should be spending time together and not rushing into things and next steps. So, because relationships are huge, and I wrote a note down like this thing is very huge because relationships is powerful actually. And my note I wrote down like relationship. If you look at a relationship, they create societies, they create families, and generations. They're huge, really, really huge. So that's why we need to spend. That's why there's a lot of relationship stuff going on, a lot of books and things like that, because relationships are way bigger, way so much bigger than we actually really think that it is. So nice. I like it. I like it very much.
So one of the other things I wanted to make sure we talk about was knowing we bring whatever experience we have, if it's from our parents, if it's from TV, even from our neighbors, that positive and negative experience, it carries with us. You know, and on our podcast before, we talked about, you know, hanging a picture and, you know, the person wanted this way and their dad do it, and the spouse said her mom does it, and it's just going back and forth of how things are done. It could be as simple as hanging a picture, you know, to something major, making financial decisions. It's different in every mindset. You know, you could be in the same household but still see things two separate ways, that you have two different opinions. It could be twins that see things totally different from each other, of how they're going to do their relationship from the same parents. You know, because one walked in 1 second closer looking at their parents than the other, and she actually saw her parents argue, and the other one that didn't, because their parents agreed not to argue in front of the kids, but they didn't know if they walked in the room, or they couldn't stop fast enough. So one caught it and the other one didn't. And that happened all the time. Well, the one that always saw that is going to have a different experience than the one that didn't. So if they do go through a hard time and think about separation, the one would be like, well, I knew it was coming. And the other one would be like, this is coming out the blue. Where did this come from? It's because of that 1 second. But it's in the same household.
Oh, my parents never argue.
Yes.
Like, oh yeah, no, your parents did argue. They just didn't argue in front of you.
Yeah, so it's just that experience of even being in the same household, seeing the exact same thing, of looking. I know when we watch TV, sometimes a commercial, you catch something that I didn't even see. But I remember one time I had to rewind it to see what you saw, and you saw what I saw, and we're watching the same commercial, and it's like we got two totally different experiences.
That's why you need people. That's why you need more than just yourself.
Yes.
That's what makes things go a lot. The bigger stuff gets created and turns out real good when more than one person is involved. Right. Like you got more hands into things. Right. Just watch the movie credits at the end of a movie. You see how many different people there are.
So, and we talked a little bit more about the questions about knowing yourself. To me, that's the most important thing of the introduction. To me, the introduction is the setting of the whole book, of knowing who you are, knowing what you want. If you don't even know what you want, how are you going to tell me, or how I'm going to know to give you those things if I could? So it's taking the time to really know what you want. So, and know who you are. So you have to ask those tough questions. Yeah,
spending some time with just yourself, learning to know yourself. Because I'm still learning something about myself even now. Like, oh, you know what? I really don't like this. Like the other day I was thinking about it. I come up with my best stuff after the fact. I don't have a lot of quick wit. You know what I mean? Quick combat. You know how they say, but you know how you say, oh, I should have said that. That's what I should have said. You know what I mean? So, and that's what salespeople don't want you to do. So that's why salespeople want you to make decisions.
Without thinking or
right now. Yeah. And they hate the people that like, you know what? Let me sit on it for a bit. I'll get back to you next week. And they never try to let you do that. Right. You know, I think there's a few places that change now, but I noticed that with myself. I always need time if I want something, don't get it then. Spend some time to think about it, and then go back to it more informed with my questions, and that way you won't get me stuck in these kind of relationships or contracts or whatnot.
Yes. So I really liked the introduction part.
Very good.
It talks about at the end of thinking long term, thinking in mind, thinking what do I want down the road? What does that look like 5 years from now, 2 years from now, just down the road itself? And how do I get that? But if you don't know what you want, you don't know where to go, you don't know what to look for, you don't know.
Get to know yourself first.
Yes.
Before you enter into a relationship.
Yes. It's very important.
Right. I think that's big. Get to know yourself first. And the same thing with married people. When you first get married and you don't have any children, I say don't have children right away. I mean, I guess it probably depends on how old you are, but if you're in your mid-20s, spend about 4 or 5 years getting to know each other.
Yeah.
Right? Before kids come into the picture.
We talk about taking the time to know each other 2 years before they even get married.
Right.
Spend 2 years to really know each other. It takes time for you to let loose, to really show who you are. And not that you're always doing that on purpose. It's not like you're trying not to show that person. You're just trying to be the best you can be. So you're not trying to play a game. It's just a natural reaction that I want to show you my best because I care about you. I'm attracted to you. So I don't want you to see the worst of me.
Well, I mean, yeah.
So it's not a trick or anything. It's just we automatically do that. So it takes time to let our guards down, to relax, to enjoy and get comfortable in a relationship that we can see the whole person.
Right. And you're gonna grow and build together and get to know each other together. Spend some time with the other person before because everything should be in stages, I suppose.
Yeah. And that's what we're going to talk about in the chapter to come.
Okay.
Is there anything else?
Well, I have a question then. Like, how do we get young people to slow down and think? Because now you're going against human nature.
That's a good question.
How do you get them? How do you convey this to young people? Because young people, they know everything and they don't want to be told. And if you're not saying the right stuff, you're real good. They tend to accept stuff from their peers more than their older people. I mean, how do you get young people, to start to slow down and really think?
Have you noticed young people watch us more than they listen to us? They watch our actions of what we do. So you do it by actions, by showing them, being the example, taking the time when you can use a bad experience or your own bad relationship or something that you're going through in your relationship with your spouse or if you're dating, to explain, this is why I'm doing this. This is what's going on with me.
Action does speak louder than words.
Of showing them. And two things are going to happen. It's going to work out great and they see that's a positive experience. Or it doesn't and you both learn, we're not going to do that again.
Or you'll watch out for the signs. Yeah, that's true. Watching the parents or watching older people, and they'll see.
Yeah, I always try to be upfront and honest with our boys of, this is what's going on, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Is this going to hurt? Yes, it's going to hurt.
Yeah.
That's part of it. It's going to hurt. Are you willing to go through the pain to get what you want? And if you're not, then...
Gotcha.
So it's just basically taking the time to know that, to see it.
Okay.
Instead of just saying it.
So lead by example.
Yes, which is very hard to do, honestly, because we're human.
Well,
we're going to mess up, but see, you have to talk about that part too.
You want to lead by example?
Know that you're going to mess up.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to mess up. You're going to lead by example, but lead and also say, you know what? I'm going to mess up. I messed up. How could I have done it different? And hear their opinion. You might learn something from them because they're outside looking in. So you might see another way. We all have blind spots in our life and our relationship. And it's a blind spot, so we don't see it. So our spouse or our children or our family member, somebody close to us can tell us, that's a blind spot. You don't see this right here.
Actually,
And
you can learn from kids, actually,
Yeah.
or younger people.
so then
They can teach you something.
with that blind spot, they're telling you this, you don't know this is here. It's a blind spot. You don't see it.
Yeah.
So we need to take the time to hear that, because we all have a blind spot.
Yeah. Or bias.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, very good.
So thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoy I hope you enjoy the introduction of the book.
Yeah, so if, I think you'll be well to do to get a copy. You have it in audio version too.
Yes. So I have it on an ebook, a print book, and now audio.
All on Amazon.
Yes. And if you can't find it, you can go to our website, jlburtonllc.com, and you'll see the link that you can click on for the book, and it will give you all 3 ways to purchase it, as well as a couple of chapters you can read to kind of see if this is for you, as well as part of the audio that you can hear the introduction and the first chapter.
And remember, too, if you're anything like me, the book is very meaty, and I took my time to read through it, and I was really surprised about how much it had in between the sentences that makes you think.
Yes.
So no fluff in the book, a lot of meat to it. I think you will really enjoy it.
I think that's the hard part. There is no fluff, so it really makes you think and stay focused on what it's saying. So it's straight to the point, nice and simple and short. And I do say the introduction, chapter 1, chapter 2, and chapter 3, it's more for if you're starting to look. You can get something out of it, like how we have explained today.
Yeah.
But chapter 4 on really gets into the relationship, that you're in a relationship. But you can't start in without starting in the beginning. So that's
Yeah.
what today was about, the introduction of what is the first thing you need to do when you're getting into a relationship.
Yeah, nobody's born at 12 years of age. So, okay. All right, so if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments section below, and we will see you next time. Or not see you next time. We will talk to you next time.
Thank you for listening.
Okay, bye.